everyone. Here Anna San Luis with Rebecca Kallaus. So we are part of Victory Vault. Victory Vault is going to be an event where we're going to help you to take advantage of more than 80,000 events Massachusetts produce every single year. And World Cup, the football soccer World Cup is coming in 2026. A lot of people say, well, I don't have the structure or I'm not in the level or whatever. This is the thing. All these events, the money from these events goes most of the time to the same pockets. And it's exactly because people don't have either the structure, either the resources, or the connections. So here, Rebecca is going to give us some points, some strategies, just like an appetizer of what she's going to bring into the Victory Vault in August and October. So, Rebecca, the mic is all yours. And well, let us know who you are, what you do, and why people should attend Victory Vault 2025.
Awesome. Thanks, Anna. Yeah, so happy to be here. Really excited to meet everyone at the events. So my name is Rebecca Kallaus. I'm the CEO and founder of Business Done Better. So we help with the back end support for small business owners. So all the back end things that people don't want to be doing, that's what we specialize in. So tech side, operations, people, systems, structure. That's what we're here to support people with through Victory Vault. So I wanted to just run through a couple myths and then some actionable takeaways for just as a teaser for some of the stuff that we'll be diving deeper into at the events. So myth number one is that you can scale without systems. So systems is usually everyone starts a business with MVP, sales, and marketing, and that's how you should start a business. You want to get the minimal viable concept in place. You want to start with your sales and marketing, but then you have a limit for how far you can take that before you start scaling. So before you actually implement real systems. So before you have systems, your people are your systems. So before you have like a standard practice for things, you have to lean on the people that you're working with. And so a lot of business owners think that, okay, well, if I just hire enough people, they'll work hard enough and then things will just run smoothly. Well, that's never the case. The people think that if you just move fast enough, you'll stay ahead of the mess. But the truth is you have to build those systems. Otherwise, your people aren't clear enough, empowered, and then everything just defaults back to you. You have bottlenecks everywhere. Things fall through the cracks. And you just feel like you just can't get ahead of things. And that will always be the case until you actually implement systems. So the way out is in a full operating system. So that's what we're going to really deep dive into is what is an operating system, what does it entail, and how do you set one up and implement it into your company. So an action point that you can take away right now on that is to pick one repeatable process. So anything in your company that you're doing all the time, make sure that it's documented, it's written out step by step. I like to implement, I call it the tie your shoe exercise. This was something that, depending on where and when people went to grade school, this was something that we were taught as little kids to actually practice telling somebody how to tie your shoe, pretending they have no idea what a shoe or shoelace is. They've never tied a shoe in their life. They have to do exactly verbatim what you say. So when you write an SOP, a standard operating procedure, I always say you should follow the tie your shoe rule. Okay, so somebody should not have a single question when they run through an SOP. So when you're writing out that one repeatable process, you should be able to hand it to any single person who has no context, and they should be able to follow it from top to bottom perfectly. That's how an SOP is done correctly. So for us in our company, the last phase of writing an SOP is that it's done, but it's not finalized. The next phase is somebody actually doing it and has no questions. Now it's approved. The second myth is that ownership comes with experience. So people assume that team ownership develops over time. So if someone's been with me long enough, then they know how to do everything. Everything's fine. They'll naturally start taking initiative, stepping up, seeing the bigger picture, driving things forward, be in the trenches with me. That's not the reality for most people. So ownership is built through culture. So you have to establish the team culture. For us, culture is everything. We make sure we don't bring people, I don't care how good somebody's skill sets are, if they're not a culture fit, they don't come into our company, or if they get in, they don't last very long. Everything's about our culture fit. And to help people take ownership, you have to set that precedent, and it comes from the top. So people, they're going to take they're going to emulate whoever else they see in the business. And that's why it starts with the owner. Everything's a trickle down from there. And I make sure that the team that I put around me also exhibits those same taking ownership habits. And then when we have new hires, then they monkey see, monkey do, for lack of better terms. Everyone just has to always, set that precedent.
About that point, I love that because something I say to my team is I will never ask you to do something I have not done or I'm not willing to do. So I think that is a really key point there. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to run through an action step, but then that ties into the myth number 3. So I'll tie back to that in a second. But an action step on this is just asking your team, what's one part of your role that you think that can be improved, streamlined, or optimized? See what they say. Sometimes they may have good insights and sometimes they may not. But what they say is going to show you what things need to be worked on. Sometimes they might surprise you. Myth number 3 is that delegating tasks is enough. So a lot of business owners, we see this all the time. They're like, okay, I don't know how to do these things. Can you just do it for me? That's not how it works. So we only like working with business owners who it's okay not to know everything. If you knew everything, then you wouldn't be needing any help. You would have an amazing business and everything would be smooth. You'd have no stress in your life. Everything would be like magic. That's never the case. But it's something that you still, as a business owner, like you said, a keyword, Anna, I'm willing to do it. I either know how to do it or I'm willing to do it. So you never tell your team to do something you wouldn't be personally willing to do. Anything that I tell my teams to do, they know that I can step in and go do it. They know that I shouldn't be. That's not where my time as a CEO is best spent. But they know that anything that I'm asking them to do, it's always reasonable. It's always with a clear, specific directive. And there's good context around it so that they feel comfortable knowing that they have reasonable expectations that they're stepping into. But yeah, so that's something that with people with delegating doesn't, it's not about like handing somebody the task and then just like blind, okay, cool, they're going to go and deal with it, and it's just like this magical thing that happens behind the scenes. That's not what happened. There's a human being that's going and doing all the things, and you have to, it helps as an owner to know all the steps that somebody is doing, so you have reasonable expectations. They're not, oh, why wasn't this thing done? Okay, well, because there's 19 steps that have dependencies, you can't expect that's going to be done in the next hour or day. You have to make sure that you're having realistic expectations in communication. So to build a team that runs without you, you have to make sure that also that your team shifts into like a high performance mentality, that you have good communication, you have an environment that allows people to communicate in a way that they feel safe, that allows people to think constructively and from an engineer mindset, that they're helping to optimize everything along the way. That's the only way that you eventually get yourself out of that doing mode in your business. So the one thing that you can do right now is look at anything that you're micromanaging, something that you're giving too many instructions, and then instead start by trying to get your team to think about the outcome. So here's the goal. You don't have to tell them every single step of the way there, not when you have the good culture fit. So a good operating system creates an environment. Then you can just tell the team, here's where we are now, and here's where we're going, and then they can help fill in those gaps. But it doesn't happen overnight. You have to set all these systems and culture in between in order to get that result. So we live by a 10-80-10 rule, that as the owner, that's something that I should be involved in the initial starting point, and then the end finishing finalization, like, okay, cool, green light, we're good to go. And then the team should handle everything in the middle. But that takes operating systems and time to really develop, where that can be a reasonable expectation. Now I have my team where they come to me, they're like, hey, we were having a conversation and we realized that we can optimize this over here. Here's our proposal for how to do it. Cool. I didn't set that initiative. They just knew where we were going. So I set the vision. As a CEO, you are the visionary. You create the big picture. You should be zoomed all the way out. The more you're in the weeds doing, the less you are in the big visionary seat, and the more you're doing a disservice to your team and your whole company. But it takes time to really set all of those.
Yeah, no, 100% agree with you. So we are in the point of, again, like businesses are, I don't know, is this control freak CEO? Is this no one to control anything CEO? So finding a balance is really important. And I love your expertise, Rebecca. I know that you have been a really successful peer on the whole operation, how to build systems, how to improve as well. Like you don't need to be an entrepreneur, you don't need to be a super mega enterprise to literally establish or take it from zero or take it from any level you business owners have to improve and to make it better. So I love to have this resource in the Victory Vault because, like I say, first of all, you guys are going to be able to monetize all the events happening in Massachusetts. Second of all, football, soccer, World Cup is coming up. So you guys are going to be able to monetize. Doesn't matter if you guys are close to where the game is going to be hosted or whatever, but it bringing billions of dollars every single state of the United States. So let's take advantage, let's prepare, because after Victory Vault, you will have an iPad with a robust business plan that you're going to have operations, systems, like infinite sources to improve and scale your business. And not just that, along with Rebecca and Honest and Lois is going to be 10 more speakers that we're going to be talking about AI, marketing, branding, finances, taxes, risk management, and more. So join us to the free preview on May 8th in iHeartMedia in Medford, Massachusetts. That is going to be in person, or May 13th, that is going to be virtual. Now, that is going to be the appetizer for the big entrance, like amazing masterclass. It's not going to be on a slideshow, click, click, click. It's going to be hands-on, where you're going to be doing exactly what the experts are going to tell you to do in your iPad that we will provide, where you're going to literally be walking through every single step, and it's going to be just 30 seats per county. So don't miss this opportunity. Join us in the preview elite at no cost, and we will see you over there. So click in the link, register. Feel free to reach out, Rebecca, if you need to. Feel free to reach out to us. Follow us in social media. What's your social media, Rebecca?
Biz Done Better.
There you go. And Anna and Louis, with no spaces, with no dots. Follow us, register on the event, and we hope to see you there. Rebecca, would you like to add anything else?
No, I'm so excited to be there.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Rebecca's in Florida. She's literally going to fly over Massachusetts just to help everybody out there. So guys, I hope to see everybody there. Reserve your seats. Oh, the spots are almost gone. So take action, take it now, and we will see you there. Rebecca, thank you so much. We do appreciate it, and let's make it happen.
Can't wait.